Zombie Apocalypse.
What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. This is 6th Scale Economist. Thank you for checking out the video today. So this is going to be market recap number 3, and in this video, our feature figure that we're going to be going over, along with going over the rest of how the Hot Toy market is going, is Hot Toys Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan Kenobi. So just jumping right into it. This is a great figure. Just looking at it from a figure standpoint, the cloth is great. The fit is great on this figure. Some people have made arguments that it doesn't exactly look like Ewan McGregor. I have this one in hand. I bought this one probably about 3 months ago, and I think it looks good. I think that there are certain angles where it looks a lot more better in terms of likeness, but overall, it's definitely great, and it's definitely in my top 5 figures. I think that Obi-Wan along with Anakin is just an awesome duo, and I think that most people who collect Hot Toys know that this is an awesome pair to have, and a must-have for a lot of people's collections. And if you're a prequels fan, it's absolutely a must-have. So yeah, it came out. It's been a while since it's come out. I think it's probably came out about 2 years ago, I want to say. It's obviously sold out on Sideshow, so it's sold out everywhere. So at this point, it's impossible to get this figure at retail. Been sold out for a while. But the reason why we're going over it is because, from a market perspective, this has been an interesting figure that has gone up very quickly in price over the last, let's call it a month. And I just want to talk about this and use this for part of forecasting and how we can think about future figures and what I think about the current value of this figure and if I think that the value is justified. So just taking a look right now. So this figure retailed for $235. This is of course the non-deluxe. So actually, let's take a look at the deluxe. Hot Toys Obi-Wan. So actually, the deluxe is one I want to actually focus on. So the standard version actually sold out first. The one that when you order the deluxe, you get the little holocron set with Anakin and the Emperor, and as well as baby Luke. But just focusing on the deluxe one. So this one retailed for $274. As you can see, when this figure, once it's sold out, for a while it actually stayed around $280, $290, $300 brand new. I actually bought mine brand new for $300 about 3 months ago, and this figure has just gone up tremendously. There's actually I actually was kind of surprised. The prices are a little bit lower than I expected. They are actually trending higher just a couple of days ago. It seems like they've come down just a bit. Like a brand new deluxe for $425, $413. That's actually not really that bad. Just taking a look at sold listings. That is a great deal as well. It's at $430, $425, $486. So it looks like it's still more in stock. I very much see this figure going to similar prices that Anakin is at. Anakin, again, we talked about in previous video, somewhere around $600 to $650. I think the Obi-Wan has a very similar trajectory. It's obviously a character that a lot of people really like, and he obviously goes very well with Anakin. And for a while, I think that his price was, relative to Anakin, was definitely too low, and that it was definitely a buy then, which is actually when I bought mine. And so I think that if you don't have an Obi-Wan right now and you're looking for one, I think trying to jump on one of these listings while they're still in stock for these low 400 numbers is not bad. I think that if you can find this at 400 brand new, it's definitely a buy. I think if you can buy anywhere under 430 brand new, it's a buy if you want this figure, because I think that once a lot of these loose listings get scooped up, it's going to be a 500 plus figure, just like Anakin. It's certainly heading in that trajectory. And one of the major reasons why I wanted to talk about Obi-Wan is, although it is sold out, this is a great example of what a potential opportunity in another figure is. If you're looking to pick one up that I think will have very good performance once it sells out, and that would be Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon, head sculpt is awesome. great likeness to Liam Neeson. Accessories are great. Obviously, the cloak is awesome. You also get like the you get the Naboo look. I personally will not be ever displaying it with this, but I guess it's a cool accessory to have. But it's just a great figure, and it's I think it's going to be a very similar figure to Obi-Wan. Now, Qui-Gon is obviously not as a character that fans love as much as Obi-Wan, but a lot of people got Darth Maul. Most people got Darth Maul, and that was a great figure to get. And in this situation, Darth Maul to Qui-Gon, I think, is going to be like Anakin to Obi-Wan. Anakin is obviously the one that is in higher demand than Obi-Wan, probably the one that people like more. Probably going to be a similar situation with Darth Maul, but nevertheless, if you're going to want to have one, you're probably going to want to have the other to display with them. And so Obi-Wan is a great pair to Anakin, just as Qui-Gon is to Darth Maul. And we've already seen Darth Maul's prices starting to trend up. Now it's retail at $274, kind of hovered around there for a while once it initially sold out. Now we're starting to see it creep up into the $330, $340 range. I personally think that it has a trajectory to go $400 to $450, creep on to $500 in these next few months, and we will revisit this to see if I was correct. But I think that's the trajectory Darth Maul is going, and I think Qui-Gon is going to do very well. If you don't have this figure and you want a figure to buy, as an investment, I think that this is a great figure to find. Go check. It's still available for pre-order on Sideshow. It was supposed to come out this summer along with Commander Cody, but it seems like everything is getting pushed back with COVID-19. But if you don't have this figure and you want this figure, buy it. If you're unsure, I still think you buy it, and I think that you just hang on to it. Because once this figure sells out, I expect this figure to be trending in the 300 to 350 range, probably about 3 months after this figure sells out. And it's going to be, it's a Jedi, it's a main character. Now it's not like the biggest character in the prequels, and again, it is from the prequels, but this is a figure that I think a lot of people are going to sleep on, and it's just going to be the same thing. It's the same song and dance we keep seeing with a lot of these Jedis. A lot of people sleep on it. It sells out, and then it's at $300 to $350, and then you just have so much upside and very little downside. I think once this figure sells out, your downside is it maybe hovers around $300. In which case, after shipping and fees and everything included, and obviously there's a price that you have to put on, like the work that you have to put in to sell the figure, which can be a hassle. Your downside is this figure stays at $300 and you probably break even after fees and everything included. Your upside is this figure can easily be a $400 figure, $450 figure, very similar to what we are already seeing with Obi-Wan. And that is mainly because Darth Maul has already been released, and Darth Maul was such a hit that this is just such a great complement figure. So my recommendation for it, this one is hot, and I think that this is a buy. And last figure I want to talk about, Bespin Leia. Bespin Leia is an interesting one. Do I think that this is a figure that is going to get to $400? No, I don't. I think that this figure is going to be very similar to what we saw with Hoth Leia. Hoth Leia sold out, and it's trending now. Brand new one, you can probably pick one up for $300 even, maybe $310, $315, which is a modest increase from where it retailed, but it's nothing spectacular. I think that Bespin Leia is going to be very similar in that, accessory. It's a great looking figure. I personally have one. I actually picked up two because of my investment thesis with it, but not the most accessories. The head sculpt is amazing. The dress, I like it, and Empire Strikes Back is my favorite movie. This is not my favorite look of Leia. My favorite look is the classic A New Hope look in her white gown, but and that figure is doing very well, and I think that's largely because that's just the look that people like to have for Leia. But the head sculpt for me just doesn't do it on the A New Hope one. This one is a lot better. I don't think it's absolutely perfect, but it's definitely good enough for me to pick it up. But this figure isn't one that I think is going to be like a $400 figure. I think it's going to have a very similar performance as Empire Strikes Back Hoth Leia, which $300 is a very fair gain. But what's interesting about this one is cheap. $204 retail. You're gonna get free shipping. Free shipping. They've had free shipping on this figure for probably about 2 weeks now, and if you can just like somehow combine a code with it, whether it's a free the $20 off codes that they sometimes send. I also purchased Iron Man like a month ago, and then they sent me a $25 coupon that I could use on anything, including Star Wars Hot Toys. And then for some reason they sent me another one because they said I ordered a Marvel Hot Toy, but I've only ordered that one Iron Man from Sideshow, the Iron Man Mark 7. So they sent me another one. So I already have one Best Man Leia. So I just ordered a second one because it was free shipping, and I used that $25 off code. I think I paid like $188, brand new from Sideshow. And at that price, I'm just going to buy it, and I'm just going to hold it because this is a figure that, again, I think is going to trend around the $300 mark, but you do have a very large upside, which is something that is worth trying to capture, and that is when/if they release this Bespin Han, everybody's going to want this Leia. It's just such a great look. It's so iconic, especially in this pose with them holding hands like they did, before Han was, frozen carbonite. And when they were on Cloud City, this pose is iconic from what I would say most of the community say is the best Star Wars movie, which is Empire Strikes Back, which is true. Once they release this figure can go very quickly to a very high price. A lot of people are sleeping on it. And I think it's relatively justified. I think that a lot of people that picked up the Hoth Leia were kind of bummed because like Hoth Leia is cool, but like you can really only pose her with snowtroopers, which even then like doesn't really make that much like theatrical sense. But I guess it does kind of look good. But a lot of people were hoping that we were gonna get like a Hoth Han or Hoth Luke to pair with Hoth Leia, but Hoth Leia on her own is just kind of just there. There's not really anything that makes much sense for it, and it doesn't seem like there's no sign that we're going to be getting a Hoth Han or Luke. But with this Bespin Leia, I mean, they've already teased the image of the Bespin Han, so I think it's very likely that we do get a Bespin Han. I think it's just a matter of time. It's pretty unfortunate that they didn't do it on May the 4th or on the 40th anniversary of the release of Empire Strikes Back, which does worry me a bit that we may not ever get Bespin Han, and I think that has something to do with the licensing that Harrison Ford has. I think Harrison Ford has in the past been very much like a stickler about using his head sculpt on figures, so I'm not sure if it's something going on with that. I really don't have a clue, but it's a great little edge of upside to have in that if they do end up doing that, this could be a $400 figure for sure. Very similar to what we saw in New Hope Leia. This could be a $400 figure. This could be a $450 figure. Do I think that can happen? Only if the stars align. Only if they release the Han, this Bespin Han. Without it, I think it'll be a $300 figure. But even then, I think it's still a great buy. Buy it for your collection if you want it. I think it's a very cheap price. And, try and scoop some codes and do something with that. But this one is a buy for sure. And again, just it's a modest buy. It's not gonna be one of the ones that are gonna have huge upside like some of the other ones that I've talked about or will talk about. But it's a great figure to buy from a modest investment purpose. And then just quickly going over some other things that we've seen in the Hot Toys market recently. I do want to briefly just look at Jin. Let's just take a look at Jin. Oops, forgot about Hot Toys. So Jin has obviously done very well. I alluded to this in my last video, but everybody loves Rogue One. We talked about how Rogue One figures do very, very well for Hot Toys. This is just an interesting figure to follow. I actually personally have not picked one up yet. The deluxe one actually is not that expensive. I don't really like the deluxe one though. I've watched a couple of reviews like from Easy Company Collectibles. The uniform is just kind of not really like a terribly huge fan of it. The deluxe one is the one to have for sure. The deluxe one is like so many different ways that you can like display her. So many different outfits. It's just a great figure. I'm actually looking to pick one up myself right now. I wish I did. I slept on it, and now I'm paying the price. But, I understand how the market works, and, I can't really be all up in arms about that. So I'm probably going to end up picking this one up. I'm trying to find the right way to do it, but, this figure is awesome. This look is pretty cool. I like this one, but this is the look. Her look, I think this is when she was on Jeddah. I want to say this is when she was on Jeddah. This look is awesome. Gun's sick. The likeness is great. All the accessories that you get are awesome. This is just a great figure. Now, if you're kind of bummed because you haven't picked one up and you also, really love Rogue One like me, don't worry. You are not alone in that boat of not having Jyn. I slept on her, and now it's painful to look at the prices, but rather than just get upset and, refuse to pay these prices, I'm just trying to learn from it so that I can find the next figure that's going to do this and then just buy, this, again, this is why I do this for investing in Hot Toys, right? I slept on this figure. I imagine it was probably something like $240 retail. I didn't buy it, and now I want it, and I'm going to have to pay $500. If I want to get and I usually only buy brand new ones. I will buy pre-owned if it's, from one of the Facebook groups like 6 Scale Scavengers, where, it's a close-knit community and I trust everybody in there, and I trust that if somebody tells me that it was very lightly displayed and, non-smoking, non-pad, whatever, then I'll pick it up pre-owned from them. But other than that, I generally try to buy brand new, which means that I'm probably going to pay $500 to buy this figure. So rather than, get upset and, oh, I don't want to pay that crazy price and, post, I see sometimes people like post on Facebook groups and they're like, hey, like looking for like XX figure, but I will not pay like eBay prices. Like you can't do that. That's not the way a free market works. A free market works, you pay what the going rate is. And, see, look, even just a month ago, this figure was selling at $400. And then, there's some demand built for it. 6 Scale Scavengers also did their podcast review this figure, and I actually, they joke around about this, but I actually think that does affect the market, which is just, just gives a huge shout out to that program. If you haven't checked it out, 6 Scale Scavengers, they do a podcast. They have a Facebook channel. Awesome group, and they just have an awesome podcast that I actually listen to. I've listened to every single one of them. They give a lot of great info and their opinions on figures, but yeah. Sorry, I keep going off on tangent, but what I'm trying to say is the reason why I do this with Hot Toys is because rather than get upset and say I'm not paying $500, I'm just never going to have this figure, and I want this figure, like I want it, I would rather pay the $500, use that as a lesson, worst, like, and you pay the $500, like, unless like it materially goes down in value, which is like it can happen, especially when you're like buying at the highs. Like, that's the way, it's the same thing, that's the way the stock market works, that's the way investing works. If you buy at the highs and it goes down, it's like whatever, at least like I have the figure. Rather than get upset about paying $500, you use this, try and figure out why this figure went up in price. Hopefully watch some of my videos and see that some of the key market fundamentals that I'm talking about, and use that to find the next figure that's going to do this. And when you pick it up, if you don't like have like a very large budget, of course this is, set some money aside if you want to be interested in doing this type of investing. Find the figure that you think is going to do this. Buy 3 of them. Maybe talk to if you buy from a local comic shop, talk to them, say, hey, if I'm going to buy 3 of these, maybe you guys could like give me a discount, or like maybe you guys can like give me free shipping. Try and find a little bit of spice to add to your edge and increase your margin a little bit. But buy 3 of that figure, keep 1 for yourself, and hold the other 2. Stock it up and wait for that figure to sell out. It usually doesn't take that long for Hot Toys to sell out. For the most part, there are a lot of ones that do, though. And once that figure goes up, sell those figures, and just like that, you've covered the difference of what you lost for buying Jyn at the highs. And so that's why I do this, and that's why I have these YouTube videos. And I hope that I've already seen a lot of fruits of my labor in this business, and I want to like share this with people, and hopefully people use this and gain something from it. Yeah. So other than that, that's going to do it for this week's market recap. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Comment, what figures you want me to talk about, or, what your opinion is on the market, or maybe if you disagree with some of my opinions on where I think some of these figures are going, just leave a comment, and I usually respond and like all the comments. So, yeah, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.